number 25. Oh, yes, it's what Super League is all about. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty now. Forget your football. This is real sport, played by real men, and it's coming at you big and large this weekend. Woohoo! Let's do the old, let's get into our sponsor, and then we can start to digest, lick, do whatever you want with these wonderful little games. Steady on, Greg. We're still talking ice creams.
Target 5. Here comes
Ooh, love that crunch.
Let me add a little bit of spice.
Yes, here we go. Look at these tasty little morsels right here. The Wolves going up against the Saints. Then it's the Rhinos. These are not in order, of course. Rhinos against Hull FC. Tigers go up against the Leopards. The Red Devils against the Dragons. What a mouthwater that one is. That could have massive ramifications for the playoff spots this year. Giants go up against the Broncos. And then finally, right at the bottom, we'll come to that one last. We'll keep you hanging, ladies and gentlemen. We'll get to that one right at the end of this show. The Warriors taking on the Robins. I, for one, I'm sure the cannot wait for that one to come around. It's going to be a bit of a happening. Only one place really to start, but before we do, just going to have a quick look. Oh, that's a bit of a shocker. Just put that on. Let's take a quick look at the league going into the round. The Robins and the Warriors, 38 apiece there. Couldn't be tighter. The Wolves look very comfortable. You'd expect the Wolves to get at least one more win. I think the Wolves are going to finish third. If I'm being honest, it would take a disaster from both the Robins and the Warriors for the Wolves to win the Shield. They won't give up hope at this stage because of this week's game in terms of second. But I think the league leaders Shield now for the Wolves is a step too far. And then after that, just take your pick. I mean, all the way down to the Rhinos, it's still game on. It really, really is. And of course, then we've got that little battle at the bottom. Can London do what seemed impossible at the start of the season? Can they avoid being bottom of the pile? I know you want to see it, so let's do it before we start doing predictions. This is the Prediction League after 24 rounds of the season, and as you can see, couldn't be tighter once you get past Schofield. I mean, Schofield, Greg still in third, Steph only 5 behind. Joel had a better week last week. He came up. He's back in contention. He's missed the Skulls after some barren weeks, it has to be said. The fans form also nudging past 303. So yeah, it's still very much game on. Really looking forward to seeing who comes out top of the pile within our own little Super League Raw team. But that is how it looks going into this week. Right, we're going to start with a game that perhaps doesn't mean an awful lot in comparison to the other ones. I mean, it does to London. And from a Huddersfield perspective, you'd hope that they'd want to send their fans up with a couple of wins between now and the end of the season. As you would expect, the Giants have a better record, 24-11 in 24-15 in their favour. In terms of the form guide, but to be fair, London a better one, and they were unlucky at the weekend. So, of these two teams, London actually come into this in better form. There's no question about that. They did play each other in round 6 this year, very early on when London were if you remember, a lot of their key players were out at that point, injured, the likes of Rourke, etc. The Giants winning pretty comfortably on the day, 26 points to 6 that day. It's 9 against 12. 412 points scored this year for the Giants and 293 for the Broncos. As you'd expect, the Broncos, give or take, 300 points more conceded this year. 1-5 on the Giants, Joel. That's an interesting one. The Giants 1-5 on when you consider the form of the London Broncos. But let me give this a bit of context. This might surprise you. The last time the Broncos won in Super League against the Huddersfield Giants, they beat them 24-0. It was round 5 of 2008. The Giants are on a 16-game winning streak against the London Broncos. Greg, going to come to you first. It's fascinating because of the London narrative, isn't it?
It is. It is. There are a lot of games this weekend that are going to be really, really difficult to call, and this is one of them. I think that Huddersfield would have won. I'm convinced they would have won that game this weekend if they hadn't had that ridiculous red card against them. And for Fenton Rodgers to get a 4-game ban is beyond the realms of science fiction as far as I'm concerned. But there we go. We're not talking about Paul Vaughan. And it's a difficult one because London could have won. It's a real difficult one, this. I'm going to go with home advantage. I'm sorry, Huddersfield fans. I'm going to go 9-17 Huddersfield because I think London will be absolutely crushed by the manner of defeat.
Greg Roach is now wondering why I left the NFL draft. He's crying. He's like, what have I done?
He's just around the house screaming. I'm going to go Huddersfield 9-17 because I think London will be affected more by the results at the weekend than Huddersfield will. Huddersfield had a moral victory against Saints.
Joe Dalgreen says the very generous odds for the Broncos. He's actually going the Broncos 9-17. Greg Roach is telling you to behave, Reggie, is what he's saying in there. Is he? I'll tell you the thing. I mean, obviously, we always come to Joe last when it comes to the Huddersfield Giants. Steph, Fenton Rodgers will be a loss, but I think the bigger loss is Sam Hewitt. Sam Hewitt, for me, has been probably the Giants' best player in the last 4 or 5 weeks for me.
Yeah, he's been great, hasn't he, for Huddersfield in some good performances and also some bad team performances for us. He's always seemed to, Joel's probably better qualified to talk about it than me, but he's been a great player and he will be a loss for them, definitely. But I agree with Reggie in the terms of, I think London put a hell of a lot into that game, with it being the last home game. I think they wanted that win so badly and they put everything into it. And you put in a short turnaround, along with some travel as well for them and the efforts they put in over the weekend. I do think Huddersfield will just have a bit too much for them, and I think Huddersfield will be hurting from that Saints loss. I think you're probably right in that Robinson especially will feel that they could have won that game, and I think Huddersfield will win by 9-17.
9-17. Before we come to Joel, welcome to the family, Ryan Moody. Oh, yes, Mr. Moody is the latest member here at Super League Raw. Took the plunge this evening. I think all that talk of ice cream made his mouth water. He wanted to be a part of it. Good man. Welcome along. Plenty of more of that, where that came from. Let's quickly look at where Mr. Schofield's gone. He's gone London 9-17. I've gone London 9-17. Fans forum, they're seeing it more the way of Huddersfield 1-8 in the chat. Let's take a quick look. Give a couple of shout outs to our members. Kevin Calvert, a member, London 18+. Craig Forth welcoming Ryan to the family as well in there, which is really nice of him. Andy Robertson, London's 1-8. Ian Rispin, hello Ian, good to see you in the chat, mate. 1-8. The Huddersfield Giants. Josh Sim, London 1-8. And Robert William Hickson says that Greg, live on Super League Raw Weekly, has given the kiss of death to the Huddersfield Giants. Do you agree with him, Joel? Do you believe it's the kiss of death, or will your Giants give you something to smile about?
So, normally I'm very big on honesty, but I'm going to be very honest about my dishonesty with my predictions. So,
say again.
I'll explain. Just give me a second.
That's a t-shirt. That's a t-shirt for next season.
I'm going to be very honest about my dishonesty.
Absolutely.
Sounds like my
and I'll explain my reasoning. So, all season, I believe, Davey, you'll probably tell me that I'm wrong. But every time I've predicted Huddersfield, it's been wrong. So I genuinely think that London will win this game, and I think they should win the game because they've been playing really well. However, I've gone the Giants because I think they're going to lose. So I think if they do win, then I'll get the point.
I will give a grand final ticket to anyone who can make sense of what that is all about. I don't know about you. I've only had two, and I'm looking at the empty cans, going, "There's only two of them there, isn't there?" Wow.
I'm looking for the points on the. I'm looking for the points on the board. I need them. I told you I'm reeling back.
Well, I'm going to say the point of them comments was as elusive as Steph trying to find two for Warrington around the LSV, mate. I'll tell you, deary me.
Than Paul Vaughan's red card on Friday night.
Deary, as Joe Dalgreen puts it, step away from the whiskey, Joel. Step away.
Can I just say,
Joel, who did you go for then, mate?
Yeah.
Right, the Giants to win by 1-8, but I know London are going to win.
Greg Roach, John Wilkins saying you failed your HIA. It's all going off. It's all going off.
Says you're making more sense to the match review panel there, John.
Oh yeah, Tom. Yeah, Tom. Yeah, good on you, Tom. Yeah, happy days. Well, there you go. So Joel's going Huddersfield. God, I love this lad. I tell you, honestly, Joel, you're a legend, mate. Absolutely love it when Joel Scholes is on. You're always guaranteed. I told you, Don. Told you. It was a matter of time. He's what a man. So get t-shirts. Who's going to join the Joel Scholes fan club for next year? Get it. You've got to do it. Get some t-shirts. We love the Scholes. There's only one Scholes in Salford. What a man.
Good shape that. I think Joel t-shirts.
Joel t-shirts.
Definitely the way forward.
Yeah,
you know what, Joel? If I knew what you'd said there, I'd support you 100%, mate.
Yeah. We've had the masks. We've already had the Joel masks.
Absolutely. Let's go for a full sweep.
Mm.
Genius. Right, let's move on. Right, Leeds against FC. I mean, Leeds were so lucky at the weekend. We talked about this on the final whistle. Another big shout out to Mark Hill, who made his debut, a Leeds Rhinos fan. He was different class. Ladies and gentlemen, trust me, if you haven't listened to the Final Whistle podcast, download it on your way to work tomorrow. It was a cracking, respectful debate. You'll love it. You really, really will. And tell all your friends about it. Nothing like good Super League Raw debate with our members. We're very blessed. Very, very blessed with the quality of members that we've got because they know the rugby league and they know how to debate very, very well indeed. Right, Leeds Rhinos, Hull FC. As you can see, no real surprises with Leeds' history in Super League. Nobody's surprised to see they're 45-19 up against Hull FC. Hull FC on a shocking losing streak. They just continued to lose. That said, Leeds could have easily have gone into this with a loss to the name. They'll be taking nothing for granted in this one. They have played each other twice this year, and it's one apiece. Round 9. Both of the previous games have been at the MKM. Round 9, the Rhinos won 18-12. Round 14, it was FC 18-10. It's now time, ladies and gentlemen, for the decider at Headingley Stadium. Last year, FC played twice at Headingley, winning the first 22-18 and then losing the second 34-10. But here's the interesting thing. In fact, I'll tell you what the interesting thing is when I come to Greg in a minute. First things first, 8th play 11th. The attack, 446 points Leeds have scored this year to 313 for FC. Defensively, 418 conceded for Leeds, 744 conceded for FC. The 1-16 on the Rhinos, I think that's astonishing. But what's even more astonishing is that Hull FC at 8-1. The bookies fancy Hull FC to beat Leeds more than they fancy London to beat Huddersfield. I can't get my head around that one.
No, was it the Joel Scholes bookies that put that one on?
God knows.
Sorry, Joel, mate. Sorry, Joel. You know I love you. No, this is... Leeds are going to win this. Leeds will win this. Leeds will win this comfortably, 18+.
Leeds 18+.
Yeah, Leeds are in that zone now where they will scrape into the 6, I think. And make a fist of it in the playoffs. I'm going Leeds 18+. We've seen this script countless times before.
So Greg does not see them melting away. Over to you, Mr. Sale. Your thoughts?
I think it's an interesting game, this one. And I think from the last few weeks, people may have noticed that my predictions have been based on ones that I wanted to get Leigh in the playoffs rather than focusing on our internal competition, which has worked out quite well in terms of that. But I think I really need to focus now on my predictions and really, I've got Joel just behind me and I've got Reggie just ahead of me in my sights. So I'm going to go with what I actually think here and what I think is really going to happen. So I'm going Hull FC 1-8.
You're on FC 1-8? Wow. Wow.
I'm only 2 points in front of you, Steph.
Yeah. Well, I'm going Leeds 9-17. We'll come to Joel in a sec. Let's get a bit of the fans forum officially have gone Leeds 9-17. Gary Schofield's gone Leeds 9-17. In the chat, where are we going? Don't want Leeds in the playoffs, says Mark Hill. Yeah, and Mark supports Leeds. He was very, very clear on that on final whistle. Tom McCain, Leeds 9-17. Carl Shaw, 18 plus to the Rhinos. Kevin Calvert, another member, Leeds 20 plus. Ryan Moody, the new member of the evening, 20 plus for Leeds Rhinos. Robert Higson, Leeds 9-17. Mark Smith, 9-17 Rhinos. A lot of love. Has anybody gone FC? Would appear that Ian Judson is not with us this evening.
The other good point there, Ian Rispin's just put a great point in there, which kind of backs it up a little bit in terms of what I was joking a little bit in terms of prediction. But if you look at the Leeds completion rate against London, it was awful, absolutely awful. If they play like that, then Hull FC have got a chance, and they're coming off the back of that performance, which I know they won the Golden Point, but they won't be happy. I'd be tempted to back you never know. Only takes a crazy red card, doesn't it?
Because remember what I said, London have got worse odds against Huddersfield than FC have against Leeds. So on that basis, Joel, you know, you might win that one against London, mate. I mean, can you get your head around that? Can you see where they're coming from with that? That the FC have got a better chance of beating Leeds than London have of beating you on current form?
No, and the reason being, when you look at, for me, I always look at the for and against. That's a big indicator for me as to how things are going in the previous weeks. You look at Leeds and Hull's for, there's only 100 plus points difference, which really, when you look at the difference in the table, isn't massive. But what is massive is the defence, and that's the problem that Hull's got. Hull have really struggled defending their own line all season. They've not had a problem putting points on the board, but they've had a real problem stopping people from putting points on them. And it's a real shame, because when I was younger, I was growing up seeing Hull FC always in the top three, always there or thereabouts. And you would hope that they should be around about there, but they haven't been for a long time, and you don't see it happening anytime soon. Yeah. Their defence is shocking.
Yeah.
And it's worse than ours. So for that, I'm going Leeds 18 plus.
18
based
plus.
off the defence.
So you're going Leeds 18 plus.
Yep.
For yourself, yeah. I mean, look, it's crystal clear with those odds that Fred Doan has got hundreds and thousands at his disposal every single week, hasn't he? Good God, love him. Outstanding stuff. So there you go. That's that game. Now we come to a big one. When we talk about complacency, we do talk about complacency. Some massive games coming up for the Leigh Leopards after this one. They've got to be bang at it. We know they played Saints last game. They've got KR as well. Those two at home, they need no motivation. This, for me, potential, very slim potential, banana skin. Leigh need to be at the races, because Steph will tell you, they played Castleford twice this season. A draw at the LSV in round 10, where for large parts of that game, Castleford were really good value. And then, even though it was a 2010 win, that wasn't comfortable either at the Jungle for the Leopards. So there've been two really good battles this year between these two sides. And of course, it is at Castleford. So I think Leigh need to go into this. I think they'll win, but I do think this is one of those games where Leigh needs to be on the game, take nothing for granted, and make sure they get the prep spot on. History's 3-3. Leigh are coming into this in great form. We've gone through what's happened this year. It's 10th against 6th. You know, Leigh, better attack, 514 to 399. Better defence, 350 to 627. They're the favourites, 1-4 on. 16-5, of course, the Tigers. The Tigers, you know, no Sylvester Namo, no Liam Horn. That's a big blow. Liam Horn, he's been in good form for the Tigers in the last few, probably for the last month or so now, I would say. Liam Horne's had a really, really good knock. Greg, do you agree with what I'm saying there? This Leeds should win it, but the way
I think the key there. I think the key there is Liam Horne missing for Cass.
Yeah.
He's a massive, massive miss. Obviously, Ben Thaler's a big miss for Leigh this weekend, but we're not talking Paul Vaughan. No, I think Liam Horne is a massive, massive miss for Castleford. And I'm going 9-17 Leigh.
9-17 Leigh.
Yeah.
Okay. Joe?
I've also gone Leigh 9-17. The reason why I've not gone 18 plus is that the Castleford ground is a much different kind of pitch. It's smaller. We all know that. We say that all the time. But the crowd love to get behind their team, and they love even more to get behind against the opposition. So just for that reason alone, I think it's going to stop them from being a blowout. But I think Leigh's quality is just far too good. So 9-17.
Far too. That's the out about for this one, Steph.
We have a full squad to pick from. First time this season, no injuries.
Fantastic. Let's Carl Shaw as well in the chat there. Carl, fountain of all knowledge as well. Good knowledge. So
and this is a great time to have a full squad to pick from.
100%. Mark Hill's going Leigh 1-17. Tim Jones, that's a new one on me. Hello, Tim. Hope you're enjoying Super League this evening. Leigh 24 plus from him. Alan David Meadows, Leigh by 14. Stu Melton has gone Leigh 1-8. He's a bit tighter. Can't see Cass get anywhere near him, says Tom Mackay. Joe Dalgreen, Leigh 18 plus. John Wilson, Leigh 9-17. Any love for Cass in the chat? No,
not much, I don't think.
Not a prayer for the Castleford Tags in the chat. Gary Schofield, he's gone 9-17 Leigh. Fans Form 9-17 Leigh. I'm going Leigh 18 plus. I just think Leigh now. They won't get this one wrong.
He's trying to get back in the good books. He's getting back in the good books with the Leigh fans.
No. Hey, mate, you know me, Steph. I stand by everything I ever say, mate.
I'm joking. I'm joking with you.
Go for it. Hang on, before you do, there you go. We've got a couple. Cass by 6, Carl Windley, and Josh Sim has gone Cass 1-8. So we've got a couple saying Cass. Over to you, Steph.
It's a massive banana skin for Leigh. You know, we did the hard work against Warrington, you know, one that probably people didn't think we were gonna win, and we come away with the 2 points in that one. I think this has got the potential for us to fall in love with ourselves a little bit and think we've done the job. Adrian Lamb spoke at the press conference today to say that wasn't the case, and they knew how much of a fixture it was. The good thing is we've played them twice, so we know exactly how Cass play. Reggie's absolutely right. Horne's a massive miss for him, and he was a massive miss for him last time we played them as well. He got a ban just before we played them as well. Then another conspiracy there for getting Leigh in the playoffs. Yes, it's going to be a tough game, and Joel's absolutely right as well. When you're used to playing on pitches like the LSV, like the Halliwell Jones, like the DW, Totally Wicked, MKM, you know, they're all big, wide pitches. There's not many grounds like Cass left, and it is definitely an advantage for the Tigers in that respect. And it is going to be a very hostile crowd. I know they're trying to sell it out for the IMG points as well. So I think Leigh are going to take quite a few to that. So I suspect it will be a very vociferous, to use a posh word, vociferous crowd. I know. It's going to be a really good game, this one. I'm really looking forward to it. I think Leigh needs to put a marker down on this one. Like I said earlier, it's the first time this season where we have not got an injury. We could pick anyone we wanted. And like Reggie said, that's brilliant going into the back end of the season, and complete opposite from our last season where we went without injury all season. Then towards the back end, we picked them up. So I'd like to think this is going to be an 18-plus win to Leigh. That's what I've got to back my team at the end this late stage in the season, and that would set us up nicely going into a monster game at the Leigh Sports Village against Hull KR.
If they can replicate I don't know what Craig's on about there with a dictionary. The man is a thesaurus in
Vociferous,
human form, is what he is. That's what he is. He's got an incredible repertoire when it comes to his.
I give away all my Encyclopedia Britannias because Mrs. Sale knows everything.
Hey, that door's going to fly open in a minute and a pan come flying through it. But anyway, that's by the by. But, to be fair, if the Leigh pack, to be fair, can replicate what they were doing last year, it doesn't matter. It's not a wide pitch. They'll just bully him down the middle for me. They'll just absolutely bully him down the middle. And that'll create space because it'll bring the defensive lines in and you will have the space on the edges to attack. I think this is going to be a good one for the
in his senior is one to watch though. He's played really well against us every game this season.
Lovely try that last week. The way they went through hands last week on that edge was wonderful. Really nice. You know what I
mean? Gary, my favourite player. He's doing.
Joe was on about, the good old days when FC were in the top three. I've not seen soft hands like that since Fairy Liquid adverts. It was absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful it was. Hey, where were the suds? Outstanding. Right, let's go to the Halliwell Jones. The Warrington Wolves taking on the Saints. I believe Saints might have a few injuries. Just putting that one out there for Greg. But Warrington 17 wins to 58 in the favour of Saints. No major surprises there. Warrington 3 wins in the last 5. Saints 3 wins in the last 5. This season in Super League, it's 1-0 to the wire, 2-0 if you count the Challenge Cup, of course. And on both occasions, it has to be said, Warrington have played very, very well against Saints this season. When was the last time you actually saw Warrington go into a game with Saints where they had a better attack and a better defence? That doesn't happen often. Warrington have scored 604 points, Saints 542. Defence for Warrington 317, Saints 950. It is third against fourth. This is a big game. I was watching Red V. They say it's a free hit. Nobody expects Saints to win this one over there. No Paul Vaughan. But of course, there'll be plenty of Saints players that'll be missing on this as well. Morgan Knowles, of course, limped off at the weekend. I would be astonished to see him, and he played very well indeed in that game against the Giants, did Morgan Knowles. So that's a massive hammer blow for the Saints if Morgan Knowles doesn't get back for this one. But Saints, just so that you know, Joel, because I'm coming to you first, Saints are a 4-game winning streak at the Halliwell Jones Stadium going into this one. What are your thoughts?
After what I saw at the weekend, means absolutely nothing. I was very underwhelmed with St Helens, and I'm not saying that because they won. I just genuinely didn't think there was anything that was incredible. The only way that they had, the only way they scored some of the tries were from forward passes. Now, okay, fair enough, it happened, and in the score, the try was given, but yeah, I just don't see anything in them from certainly last week that would scare Wire off. I've gone Wire 18 plus.
Big win for the Wire, says Joe. Yeah. Steph, your thoughts?
I get what Joel's saying there. I think they were a little bit underwhelming, and they will claim that they've not got the full side, and we have to give them that they haven't, and especially losing Knowles as well. If he doesn't play, then that's another massive, massive loss for them. Wire, you could say the same in terms of the Man of Steel in Dufty. We go back to the Leigh game. I think he was a massive loss for Wire, and you could potentially have beat us if you'd have had him even with 12 men, I think. So he is a huge loss for Warrington in terms of their attacking threat. To lose your enforcer and in Paul Vaughan as well is another big loss. But I do think you especially at home, I think you're going to have too much for him. And I think I'm a bit gutted. This is on at the same time as Leigh Cass, isn't it? Isn't it Friday?
No, it's Saturday afternoon.
I'm not gutted. I'm really happy. I'll be able to watch this because I was looking for. I think it could be a really tasty game. This. I think both sides are going to rip in this one, and it's Warrington are going to want to have a bit of a point to prove, I think, in this game. So I think not that it's going to benefit us as well, but I do think Wire are going to win. I don't think it'll be an 18 plus. I think if Dufty was playing, it would be 18 plus. But I'm going to go Wire 9-17.
Well, Dan Parker, take a bow, sir. That's a new name on me, Dan, but welcome to Super League Raw. He's asking, was the pitch invader being signed by FC because he made more meters than the full pack and scored a try? Oh, if Mr. Judson was here, there he may be, he'd be having a little bit of a
on that though. I'm glad someone's brought, I don't know. I'm glad someone's brought that up because fair play to the players, the stewards, and the officials in that situation, because I believe the lad had some special needs or some form of thingy. It could have gone complete. That could have been a really bad advert if a steward had gone in and tackled him or something like that. And the crowd as well. They dealt with that situation impeccably, I thought. And fair play to the lad for scoring.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's be fair, made his day.
Absolutely.
Made his day because that's all he wanted to do. He wanted to score.
Some things are bigger than sports.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree with you more. Agree with you more. Before it comes to Greg, let's get into some of the other predictions. So Gary Schofield's gone Warrington 9-17. Fans Fulham the same. I'm the same. I'm going Wire 9-17. Carl Shaw, Wire will bounce back 18 plus. Joe Dal Green. He's talking about the kickoff time there. Nicola Burtonwood. Hello, Nick. Always a pleasure to have Nick with us. 9-17. The Wire from her. John Wilkinson, Wire 9-17. You do surprise me, John. Michael Bell going Saints by 6. 8. Sean Rollins going Wire 18 plus. Daz Dean the same. Callum Calver going 19 to 18. Not that it means out because he hasn't told us which way. That's shocking. You can tell you've been away for a while. Get off that fence, son. Let us know which way. Carla Louise, hello to Carla. Another Super League World member, 9-17, going the way of her. Yeah, he's making still banned. Yeah, this is his second game ban. So there'll be no Tommy Makinson. Like I say, no, I'd be very surprised if Morgan Knowles is in on this as well. So yeah, they're doing it tough, Saints. But of course, Johnny Lomax got away with banning. Only got a grade B. Going into this one. Greg, Warrington against Saints.
Yeah, you get the news that sends any rugby league fan cold when it's Helens. When it's announced that Chris Kendall is the referee against Saints, you just know then that, well, it could be a lottery. The guy's been announced at Vegas. He's having a week's residence there before the game, apparently. Talking about Dufty missing, get back to some serious points before I get sacked. Kai Taylor-Ray is a talent. Didn't get much chance to express himself because we were down to 12 men for a lot of the game.
Well, yeah.
Friday. Hey? Yeah, we're not talking about that, though. You talk about Paul Vaughan being an enforcer. I think Lee Yates is equally as an enforcer. His tackle on Trout that sent him colliding with Vaughan's chest was a great tackle on Friday night. So, you know what? You don't know, do you? Because you don't know what's going to happen. And this is a problem now in predictions. There's going to be a point where a player's going to be lay on the floor and the referee's going to go to his earpiece and the whole ground goes, oh, no. And you just know what the outcome of it is going to be. Warrington 18 plus.
Warrington 18 plus. Which one am I doing?
It's too late. You have to spit it out, Greg.
All right, I'm getting emotional.
So see what you're going. Warrington what?
18 plus.
18 plus to the Wire. All I would say is, and I hope I'm wrong when I say this, I will be amazed if it's 13 on 13 at 80 minutes. And I hate to say that before a ball is even kicked.
I said it's going to be tasty. That's why
I think this could be. I think this one could be a little bit tasty. But let's get to a game of, real importance. What
did you say, Dave?
I've gone Wire 9-17. like I said, Warrington for me will finish. It looks like Warrington are going to finish third. That's what it looks like. I mean, don't get me wrong, they might creep into the top two. They're not going to win the Shield.
Well, Warrington can lose the next 3 games and still finish.
Yeah, they've got a chance, depending on the points difference. But one more win, it's done and dusted. I can't see Warrington losing 3 on the bounce. He says,
"Why is Peter Mason giving me a red card?"
I don't know. But yeah, I think for me this is a massive one for Saints. I really do. I was listening to, and again, we've got a bit of time. Ladies and gentlemen, I mean, look, we're going to get into the next 2 in a minute, and I'm not, we'll have a proper debate over these 2 as well. But Red VTV and St. Helens fans, for me, I don't know why you're feeling so comfy. If Warrington were to beat Saints this week, they remain on 28 points. If Catalan Dragons beat the Red Devils, they go on 28, and the Red Devils stay on 28. The Leopards beat Castleford. The Leopards are now 4th. Yep. You then go to Castleford, St. Helens fans. If you win that, you go on 30 points. Okay? If Saints beat you, if Leigh beat you, Leigh on 31. They're above you. There's a very high probability that Catalan, if they beat Salford, beat FC and beat London, they're above you. And we haven't even talked Salford yet, getting another win between now and the end of the season. So let me tell you now, St. Helens fans, this is a massive game. Never mind a free hit. I couldn't believe what I was hearing when they said they've got a free hit against Warrington. No, they've not. Saints need to win this game. I think if Saints lose this game, Leigh, on current form, Leigh would be favourite to win the last one at the LSV. Saints need to win this game.
It'd make I think the league game against St. Helens is going to be massive, absolutely massive, and
especially if they use this.
Yeah, if that's not a sellout, then I don't know what will be at the sports page. I think if you look at monster game, but the good thing is it's so good, isn't it, that we're at 3 games left and anything could happen. We still don't know the 1 and 2.
Yeah.
We still don't know the playoffs. We still don't know who's going to finish bottom. We can't ask for more than that, can we? We can't.
But nobody has a divine right, Steph. Nobody has a divine right.
Of course they don't.
Playoffs, and at the moment, I think there's a few St. Helens fans who, for whatever reason, believe they're in the playoffs. No, you're not.
No,
it's a massive game at the HJ on Saturday.
I still think they've got a very good chance of getting in the playoffs.
I do.
But there's so much that could happen in the next 3 games, and some massive. I mean, there's no bigger than Catalan and Salford for me in terms of the playoff race. That's one where one is going to lose 2 points in the top 6, or top 6 race. Sorry, not in the top 6.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all to play for. Anything could happen.
We don't know where Joel's gone. Joel's jettisoned.
I think he's gone getting a whiskey so he doesn't.
He's gone to get a scotch. Oh, well, hopefully he's back in a bit. But we're going to move on. We're going to move on to this one.
Can I just add to that, Dave? I just hope that game isn't spoiled by a red card. I hope it's 13 against 13.
Let's hope so.
Have some common in all the games this weekend, not just the YSA game. In every game, there's been so much fuss and anger from rugby league fans this week about red cards. Let's keep 13 against 13 in every game.
Just a thingy on that. I think it's valid. There's 4 teams this year that haven't had a red card. A third of the league hasn't had a red card. Leeds, Hull KR, London, and Leigh have not had a red card. Warrington have only had 2 red cards. They normally average over the last 10 years 1. So they've only had 1 more than they'd normally get. And it's teams like Hull FC who are actually on 4. So you could argue, there is an argument to say that some teams are, and some players are reacting better to the new system than others. And I think it's not I do think that there's a valid point in terms of, yes, red cards have been thingy, but there's also a counter argument to say, and the stats are there to show it, that some teams and some players have gone and adapted to the new rules a bit better. And I think the other argument as well is that they've outlawed we were going to be faced with the under the armpit tackle.
Yeah, that's gone.
And I think because of what they've done this season, and I'm not saying it's right or wrong, it's just to provide a talking point. Because of what they've done, they've now outlawed that, which I think is a fantastic result, because that would have been the death of the sport in terms of, we would have been going mental in terms of that. So it's just to point that out in terms of there has been some teams that have adapted to it better than others.
You do realise, don't you, that you've just cursed those 4 teams this weekend?
Well, I may have, but it's a point worth making.
It is a point worth making. As is Tom's JWH next year. I mean, imagine JWH is next year.
He'll play about 5 games.
I know.
Wow.
I watched a thingy earlier on that was the NRL from the 1970s, and they'd be in prison.
They would be in prison, mate. They would. And I don't know where Callum Calver's been, but he's saying Kendall's going to give Duffy a red card. He'd have a job, mate. He's in the hospital bed. I don't know. I think that'd be a bit. Even by Kendall's standards, that's a bit of it.
Dave, anything is possible with Chris Kendall. Might give me a red card in the stands.
Yeah, well, mate, yeah. Anyway, let's get
one on Friday night, I must admit.
Let's get into their Ted between. This is a great game. This is a great game. Salford against Catalan. I say if Salford win this, they're done. They're in. Not a problem. Salford, this is the game for them. They win this, it takes them to 30 points. That should be enough. For the Catalan Dragons, they win this. It really is going to be a fascinating last 2 weeks for those playoff places. It really is. Both of these two sides, well, not in great form. 3 losses on the spin now for Catalan Dragons. They have played each other once this season, and Dragons won 20 points to 10 in France. Last season, in this corresponding fixture, the Dragons won 19-8. The Dragons are on a 3-game winning streak against the Salford Red Devils. It's 5th against 7th. There's not an awful lot in it. I mean, actually, the defence is that's really interesting, isn't it? So the Salford Red Devils, 465 points scored to 426 for the Dragons. Give or take 1 point, 40 point difference there. But the defence, Red Devils higher than the Dragons, but they conceded 467 points. The Dragons only 388. 1-2 on the Red Devils, 7-4 the Dragons. I mean, this honestly, you've got to tune in for this one. This one's going to be a belter. Greg, Salford, Catalan, where are you going, mate?
I'm going Salford 9-17.
Yeah?
Yeah, I really am. I think they've been beaten up by Wigan. I think Salford are, after that, I think it was a glitch against Leigh. No offence to Leigh. Leigh played really, really well. I think they've clicked. It's home. I'm just hoping that lots of Salford fans turn up to cheer them on. Now they've got the ground, kind of the future confirmed for the next few years. I'm going Salford 9-17, and I want it to be a decent crowd there. I really do. What day is it on? What day is it?
I think it's Saturday, or Sunday.
Sunday.
Apologies for Joel. He's had to get off. He's sent me his apologies. So I'll tell you, Joel's gone Salford 9-17.
If it wasn't on Saturday, I might have gone to this.
So Greg, you're going Salford
9-17.
9-17. Schofield's gone the same. I'm going 9-17. I have to be honest. I'm torn here. I want Salford to win because actually for Rowley and what they've achieved this season, I want them in the playoffs. The heartbreak last year for Salford, I think the fact that they've come back against the odds this year, against everybody's odds, and been in that top 6 for as long as they have, the heart is saying I want Salford to win into 9-17. But the neutral in me, if Catalan were to win this, what a last 2 weeks of Super League we've got with these playoff places. It's going to mean this time next week. The debate will be luxurious. Now we are talking magnums. Deary me. Get your taste buds around that, baby. Steph, your thoughts, mate, on this one?
Yeah, I think it's another. We treated here, I think, this week to 3 cracking matches in terms of the one we're going to come to shortly, this one, and the Wire Saints game. I think are all going to be absolutely amazing matches. I'm like you, Dave, on this one. I'm a bit torn. Mathematically, it's a bit difficult, especially after 4 Peronis, to try and work out who I want to win in this one. I think I want Salford to win. I think that's the best result for us. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. Because only reason
because Well,
no, because Catalan have got
Catalan's got Hull FC in London,
Hull FC in London to finish, so they should finish on 30. Is that right? They're on 26 at the minute.
No, they're on 26, so they'd be finished on
30. So they should finish as a minimum. You'd like to think on 30. So if they beat these, then they should finish on 32, which puts them ahead of Leigh. So whereas I think Salford have got a bit more of a tougher couple of games after that. Is that right?
Yeah, Salford have got a really tough running. I think Salford's probably got one of the toughest runnings. I think they've got. They've not. FC, so they should win that, and then Wigan Warriors the last game. So that's a tough one. Like I say the easiest of the runnings is the Catalan Dragons. Probably in terms of playoffs, you've got the toughest KR followed by Saints.
Yes.
To be fair.
Yeah. So I think from a Leigh perspective, we would want Salford to win this and put Catalan behind. But I am going to go Salford. I think a bit like what I said earlier in terms of games taken out with the London one. I think London put everything into that one. I think Catalan put a lot into that performance against Wigan. I thought they surprised me how well they played actually in that game. But I think having to travel over, Salford probably hurting a little bit from that whole KR result. They know they need to win this one to be certain.
So which way you got? What score are you giving it, mate?
I'm going to go Salford 9-17.
Yeah, a lot of love for that score. Schofield's the only one with a difference. He's gone 1-8. But guys, like I say, look at that. You know, Saints lose. Not saying they will, but if they do, they stay on 28. The Red Devils lose. They stay on 28. Leopards win. They're on 31. Dragons, of course, will be on 29, sorry. The Dragons win, of course, against Salford. They'd be on 28. And the Rhinos win against FC. They're on 28. I mean, that is just going to be incredible. If that's the way it pans out, it probably won't. But if it did, what a discussion we've got next week on Super League Raw Weekly. And how good is that final whistle going to be next Monday for your commute to work? Because I'm sure the fans forum, the members of Super League Raw, will be out aplenty to have a debate about that on Sunday night for your listening pleasure on Monday morning for your commute to work. Right, let's get to it. We've done it. We've left it till the end, and rightly so. It deserved to be the end of the show. The Wigan Warriors taking on Hull KR, the Robins, this coming weekend. This is it. This, for me, could very well decide who takes away the League Leaders Shield for 2024. It's not done and dusted. Don't get me wrong. Like we said, both of these two sides have got difficult. Even if KR were to win, they've got difficult fixtures on the horizon. Obviously, they've got Saints and then Leeds to finish off. Wigan, like we said, I think they go up against Salford as one of theirs, and Leeds as well. Two teams fighting for playoffs. So both of these two teams have got difficult fixtures. Teams that have got things to play for this season are next after this. So there still could be twists and turns, but you do think whoever wins this has got one hand very, very firmly clasped on the League Leaders Shield. Wigan 27, KR 12 in the history of Super League. Wigan come in on a 5-game winning streak. KR come in on an 8-game winning streak. Something's got to give here. In 2024, of course, they played each other once in round 9 in Super League. KR 26-10 winners. But who can forget that semi-final in Doncaster? Wigan 38. Hull KR 6. So if you want to count the Challenge Cup, it's one apiece. First against second. And again, at the start of the season, who would have envisaged, one, that KR would be top after 24 rounds, but they would have a better 4 and a better defence than the Wigan Warriors. 649 in attack to 597. And Hull KR's defence, 286 to 318. We purr all the time about Hull KR and how good they are to watch going forward. What a defensive effort in 2024 from the Robins. Unbelievably, all that said, maybe that semi-final looming large in people's minds. And, of course, it is a home game for Wigan. Wigan favourite 1-2. Very tight, though, 17-10. The Robins, again, I think it was Joe Dalgreen saying there was a bit of value in Hull FC. I think there's a bit of value in the Robins at 10-17, quite frankly. But yeah, unbelievable. And like we say, don't forget our sponsor, Rugby League 3/4. They'll be discussing all the odds going into this weekend's matches, as always. Right. Joel's not here, so I'll tell you exactly where he's at with this. He's gone Wigan 18 plus. Wow is what I would say. That one.
Wow.
That's big. That's big from Joel. Gary Schofield's gone Wigan 9-17. 9-17 for Gary Schofield. I'm going 9-17, and I'm going to leave mine to the end, but I'll tell you. I'm going 9-17 Wigan. I think French will be better for his run out in Catalan. I really, really do. I'm not confident in that result, by the way. What I'm looking, do you know what? This could. Do you know what? I want a ding dong. I want to see Brett, because these two teams have put on a spectacle this year at times. I want to see tries that make you go, wow. The ones that make you almost fall off your city. You know what I mean? The ones whereby you're that animated, you don't mean to, but the dog very nearly gets assaulted. You know what I mean? You jump up that much, your dog can't move. Do you know what I mean?
I haven't even got a dog, Dave. So yeah,
well, for you, it's just the cat, innit? But do you know what I mean? I want that as a neutral. I want that. I want to feel it. I want to feel this game. I want to be in it. Oh, rugby league, and it's fine. It's come on. You know, Mikey Lewis, Peter Hiku, 9 levels. You know, then you've got Big Junior, Frenchy Field. Oh, it's on, isn't it? It's absolutely on. What a mouth-watering game this one's going to be. Best game in the world. Steph, come on. Get happy. Get your smile on. Get giddy.
I'm always happy.
Talk to me about this. What a game.
Like, rugby league's the winner. I'm always happy. I'm always happy. This is the one I miss. This is Friday night, isn't it? Yeah. I knew there was one that I missed. That I think, yeah, I'm gutted. I can't watch this one live. It's probably the one from the second half of the season that most people would have been as neutrals looking forward to watching this game. The two best teams in the comp, you'd argue, with Warrington just outside of that, going head to head. Massive crowd, apparently. I know they've sold over 15,000 already for this one. I expect it to be pushing 20. I know when big games come, the Warriors come out, don't they, in terms of supporting the club, and I think they'll, especially when those kind of numbers get mentioned, the more start to come out, and I just think it's going to be a huge game on Friday night. It's always in the back of my mind what Reggie says, and I take a lot of counsel from Reggie in terms of the Wigan Warriors, and having not have much Super League experience watching myself from a Leigh perspective. Reggie's seen a lot more than me and knows what the Wigan club can do, and I think he's absolutely right in terms of they don't have to play the best; they just find a way to win. But they have got a rusty Bevan French, who was rusty in Catalan. They've got a rusty, probably Harry Smith, who's going to be coming back, who's not played. Hull KR come into this absolutely flying with for me, man of steel in Mikey Lewis in the form of his life at the moment and scoring tries like he did at the weekend. Yeah, so it's literally flip a coin on this one. I think the reason why Hull KR's defence is so good is because their attack is so good. The opposition don't get the ball as often as them. That's why the defence is so good. As well as them being very good defenders as well. They're a team. That's the thing with Hull KR. They're a team. And what Willie Peters has done there should not be underestimated. He's created.
Coach of the game?
For me, he is 100%. Yeah. There's others that are in contention, but for me, on what they've done at that club and the squad they've built, and he's not had any. For me, he's not had any failures really in terms of signings. The signings is all, you'd expect one or two, and everyone thought Hiku was going to be that one when they played him at fullback at the beginning of the season, and he couldn't catch and he couldn't kick goals for Toffee. Now look at him in centres; he's absolutely flying. And you've got to put that down to one, Willie Peters' decision making, but also he must be coaching him to play that way as well. And he should be right up there in the conversations, if not the coach of the season for me, with a couple of games left to go. But I'm doing a Reggie now, I'm waffling. I'm gonna I'm gonna stick my neck out and say Hull KR 1-8.
Hull KR 1-8. KR. Yeah. So you're 9-17 the wire, and you're going Hull KR 1-8.
Yeah. Apologies, I didn't send you my predictions this week, did I?
No, actually, I've just realised. Actually, I'm looking at the wrong bloody ones. Right. Okay. So yeah, to clarify, KR 1-8, Schofield. Joel, Wigan 1-8. Fans form KR 9-17. You're going 1-8. I'm going Wigan 9-17. And then we'll get into the chat. This is interesting. Do you know what I mean? You tune into Super League Raw, and Pete Mason gives you a maths lesson. What does 36 cherries make? A pear. I haven't got a clue. I really don't. I don't know what that means, Pete. I really don't, mate. Don't know what that means. What's that as a prediction? Don't know, mate. I'm going pear. Pear, peach, apple, God only knows. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've done maths, I have to say, on that one. Josh is going KR by 2. Sean Rowley.
Could be sour grapes.
Rovers 9-17. They look like cherries to me. Dan Parker going 1-8. The Rovers. Dawn Kirkby says that they're nothing like they were at Doncaster. You're absolutely right. And good to hear that you're on the mend as well, Dawn. Our love and best wishes to you as always. Ryan Moody, our newest member, KR by 12. Up the Robins. Will God. Ryan's another Robin. They're taking over at Super League Raw memberships of the Robins. Nicola Burtonwood 1-8. Mighty Robins 1-8 for Mark Smith as well. Any win will do. She's turning into Jason Donovan. Is our donkey. She's closing her eyes. She's pulling back the curtains. Oh, any win.
Can't you see for certain though?
Oh, absolutely. Hey, a flash of lights. Oh, anyway, we'll sing that at the end. We'll go out. We'll do a karaoke version. Outstanding. Freddie McGilvey 1-8. Wigan. John Wilson 1-8. Wigan. Craig Fulf 1-8. Wigan. Right, Greg. Over to you. KR Warriors. What are your thoughts?
Oh, do you know what? This is another one where I've gone from one to another all week. Harry Smith's back. He's going to be rusty. Bevan French will be better than he was. Jay Field's back. I think this, though, is where Hulk. This could be the one where Mikey Lewis kicking is found out. Goal kicking is found out.
Yeah, that's a good
That
point.
could be the difference.
Yeah.
Good, Joe.
Great shout, that.
That could very well be the difference in, I think Reece Martin next year, if KR don't win it this year, Reece Martin could be the last piece of the jigsaw that gets him over the line next year with his goal kicking. But then you've got the KR pack, which is bigger than the Wigan pack.
Yeah.
You've got Mikey Lewis. You've got Hiku. Wigan have still got some of the young kids in there. Hiku against Eckersley. As good as Eckersley is, he was found out against Warrington at the Brick Stadium.
That's correct.
A few weeks ago. This could very well be a golden point game.
But which way?
And again, it's a game that I hope isn't ruined. And this is, but you're laughing at me, but this is what every rugby league fan is now thinking, that the referee doesn't go to his earpiece and puts his hands up like that after a tackle. And that's what this is what every rugby league fan is thinking now, going into every game. Are we going to see 13 against 13, or are we going to get decisions that sway the result? I hope not. I really, really hope not. And if it's 13 aside, and if everything's equal, I am going Hull KR 1-8.
KR 1-8, there it is. It came in the end. It's KR 1-8 for Reggie. So only me and Joel are going Wigan. The rest are going KR. Oh, dear me, Dawn Kirkby. Is the light dimming? Will the dream do too?
KR game. Who do you think, Sean?
What's this, Sean?
Who do you think's refereeing Wigan? In Wigan.
Liam Moore?
It's Liam Moore.
Liam Moore. Yeah, it's Liam Moore. Oliver Deering, he's gone Wigan 1-8. Hello, Oliver, Super League Raw member. 4 people have done the QR code. We've had 1 member join. I think everybody's waiting until the end of the show this week. We'll be giving shout-outs next week to our newest members as well. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've loved the show, may you return to the beginning. Oh, that'll be tomorrow on your podcast. You can listen to it again on your way into work. I hope the light's not dimming and the dream isn't too for you, Miss Dawn Kirkby out there. there as the rest of us. Oh, yes. Oh, don't you worry about that. We're waiting. Oh, we're waiting. And we're anticipating any dream will do. Eckersley out. Big shout, that one. Ben, quick to the goal. Ben Failer is the video ref as well. Oh, ouch for Dawn Kirby. Right, very mindful of